solve this murder. I am your detective, Bill.
And I am your crime scene criminal and Christie collaborator, Dani.
You added a whole new thing. This is, as the pattern has been, we're swapping off between original mysteries and adaptations, transformations of Agatha Christie murder mysteries. And this is one of the classic Agatha Christie's. I haven't read it. I deliberately...
That's a relief.
If I have read it, we'll find out as we go, I suppose. But I don't believe I've read it.
We probably won't air it if it turns out you have.
That's true. This is your adaptation of Five Little Pigs.
Mm-hmm.
I know one fact about this, but I don't know if it's actually going to be true for this recording, which is, I believe that in the book, it's a cold case.
Yes. And I went back and forth about whether to keep it as a cold case, but I think I need to.
Okay.
So, which means that structurally, this may feel weird compared to the others.
And given that we're recording this and therefore setting it in 2025, it's a really cold case. Everybody's dead. I think I won't be Poirot for this one. I'll still be Bill. But I don't know how... I mean, do we need to do anything or cover anything before we start? Are we jumping right into someone knocks on my door and says, I've got an old mystery for you? How are we jumping in? Do you want to start us off?
I guess.
This show doesn't have much of a preamble. Do we have things to say before we get right into it, or are we jumping in?
I mean, no, I don't think there are too many hints to give. You can look at my cover of the book, Five Little Pigs, and see what you can deduce from it.
There's a glass, a wine glass, or a beer glass. It's full of liquid. All right, that's it. I've got no hints.
And some words.
Here's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Five Little Pigs. Everybody, jump into my world with me. It's called Five Little Pigs, which means in the book, there will be references to one pig going to market, and one pig staying home, and one pig having roast beef, and one pig having none, and one pig going wee, 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 all the way to a murder scene. So I'm assuming there'll be 5 suspects, and I'll figure out that one of them actually went home, one of them went to the market, and one of them had roast beef, and one of them had none, and it'll be relevant to the whole thing.
Look. You know what? You get the idea,
so
more or less.
When I find a suspect, I'm going to be like, is this the one that had roast beef?
Tell me about your meat preferences.
Do you like roast beef? What? How did you know? I'll kill you, Poirot. I'll kill you dead.
Oh, so the roast beef one is what you think? That's clearly the most suspicious start.
Roast beef is human. It's a euphemism for human flesh.
Oh, so it's not like crying wee 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 all the way home isn't like crying wee 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 with a dagger.
This was written before Psycho came out, Dani.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Come on. I reckon there'll be 5 suspects. I reckon one of them will have roast beef, and that's it. I think with that, we can jump right into it.
All right. In that case,
let's solve this murder.
We start with a knock at your door.
You know what? Before I say just a minute, and I turn to the audience and I say, if this is the first time you're listening, follow along, try and solve the murder with me. You'll be getting the same information that I get at the end of every episode. Send in your guesses, and if you guess really well, you might become the detective of the Ark, where we'll put you on our little wall of detectives, which I have been updating recently, so it's up to date.
Maybe give us a disclaimer if you've read the book.
Oh, if you've read the book, you have to tell us. You can't be like, well, I think, and then just type out the solution to the book. That's cheating. And I'll also say, if you want to help support the show, jump on Patreon, help support the show. You can donate. You can get a whole bunch of bonus episodes. There's weekly bonus episodes for everybody. And because this is the first part of the mystery, you'll get the whole mystery all at once on the day that this comes out if you're on the Patreon at $5 or more. Just thought I'd let you know. Now I have to get the door. I've been leaving this person waiting for a while. I open the door.
You open the door, and standing beyond it is a woman in her early 20s. She's dressed quite expensively, and she has a serious expression on her face.
Are you all right? Come sit down. Here, have a cup of cocoa.
Yes, I'm really interested in, engaging your services, I think. I think you can help me.
I can help everybody. I don't even know what you need done, but I'll do it for you. I solve murders, I fix retaining walls, I unclog toilets. I can do everything.
Oh, that's not exactly what I... Okay.
This door is just labeled Bill's Services.
My name is Carla, but that's not my birth name. That's just my nickname because I was named after my mother. You might have heard of her, Carolyn Crail.
Dani, have I heard of Carolyn Crail?
There might be a faint twinge in the back of your mind about some court case, but, it was a while ago. Or maybe my father, Amias Crail?
Oh, Amias Crail, of course.
Oh, you're an art person. Okay.
Yes, I love the art he makes. People
Funny
buy at his gallery? What does he do? Who's Amias Crail?
He's dead.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's kind of the whole point. I guess I should start from the beginning.
I don't actually know who your family is.
Oh.
I've spent so much time working on doing every service. Who is Amias Crail?
You know what?
And when did he die?
This actually puts us in somewhat of a similar situation. I don't know as much about my family as I would like as well.
Well, fair enough. They're dead.
Thanks.
Sorry. You brought it up.
Look, when I was 5, 16 years ago, my mother was tried for my father's murder.
Oh, dang. I'm sorry. I'm being really insensitive.
Yeah. I didn't know any of this until 2 months ago when I turned 21 and I came into my family money, and my aunt and uncle who were raising me in Canada, they felt that they couldn't hide it from me anymore. I kept asking, and finally they couldn't just brush it off. So they didn't want to, but they told me. It wasn't great. So my mother was found guilty. She was sentenced to, hold on, let me get this right, life in prison. She wasn't hanged due to extenuating circumstances. But she died a year after the trial anyway.
Oh.
While she was in jail.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that natural? Suspicious? That seems strange.
No, it was...
Broken heart?
I mean, as far as... I haven't heard much information, but it doesn't seem like there was any suspicion there. It was just sickness, wasting. Not the best place to be living, really, and...
Yeah, I suppose.
What I do know is that I was given my family money.
Yeah.
And I was given a letter from my mother that she wrote to me when she went to...
When she was in prison?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's okay, all right. I mean, did she say, yeah, I'm sorry I killed your father?
No, the exact opposite.
She says she's really glad she killed your father?
I'm glad we can laugh about this.
It's been 16 years.
She said that she was innocent.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I know. That's what everyone has been saying. They've all had that exact same reaction. Look, I know I was a little kid. I know I don't have many memories of my mom, but my memory is that she was truthful. Like, bluntly truthful.
That's a pretty sad memory to have of your mother when you haven't seen her since you were
right?
5 years old. That's really... Hey, I'm so sorry, Carla. That's really sad to me. You were 5 years old when she went to prison, and your one memory is that she is bluntly truthful. That's so mean. I think she did it. Sorry, go on, please.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's a really sad memory to have.
You know what? Even if it turns out she did do it, I think it would be for the best that I know. You see, I'm engaged, and in case there's any sort of genetics to murder, I don't want my fiancé to worry.
Okay, well...
So I'd rather that this is true and that she's innocent, but... I think it would be best, like I said, that maybe this is something that my mom imparted into me in those few years, but I think it would be best to know the truth.
Yeah, look, I will say, 100% I'm on board with knowing the truth. Why is it? Is it anything other than the letter? Do you have any other thing where you're like, this ruling probably wasn't the truth? Was the case famously bungled? Was it a poor investigation? Or is it purely the letter you're going off?
I have no idea.
Okay.
All I have is this letter. I don't know a thing about it. Like I said, I only found out any of this 2 months ago.
When you inherited your money?
Yeah.
2 months ago, at 21. Okay.
When my aunt and uncle told me.
Your aunt and uncle? What were their names? I might look them up.
They are the Le Marchands. The Ontario Le Marchands.
Oh, the Ontario Le Marchands. Well, that's different.
But look, they're a distant aunt and uncle of my main family, so I don't even know how much they were told. They were just, oh yes, occasionally maybe we'll go visit them in Canada. Except this time I went and visited them in Canada and did not go back.
All right, so they're quite obscure family members. You wouldn't have thought they were very close with your parents?
Oh, I mean, close enough to trust them with their children, but
okay.
I don't think they had any particular ins on the case.
Okay, that's good. I might follow up anyway, but maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be a quick conversation and they'll just say, we know nothing.
Look, let me just assure you, they are no little pigs. They are not pigs.
They're not pigs at all.
No.
They're not pigs. I'm glad you picked up on this way of referring to people. I always think of all my suspects as pigs. Interesting. Okay. Odd question.
Mhm.
Probably relevant.
Mhm.
May I see the letter?
Oh, I didn't bring it.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
The thing is, you're telling me to reopen a 16-year-old case.
No, I don't think you can reopen the case. That would be crazy. I just want to know.
You're telling me that I need to reopen it, even if just personally, I need to reopen a 16-year-old case. My best friend was the lead detective 16 years ago, and you're telling me I need to tell him to his face, I need to call him up and I need to tell him to his face that he's a failure, purely on the basis of this letter, and you haven't got the letter?
Nobody that I have talked to about this letter so far has believed it, so I don't think it matters one way or another.
True, but if your mother has written like, I definitely didn't kill your dad, and then in brackets written wink wink, I'm not going to investigate.
It did not say wink wink.
Okay, well
I
look,
can assure you of that.
if you can find the letter, if you can dig it up somewhere, mail it to me.
I know
I'll give it a
where
read.
it is. It's in Ontario.
Yeah. If you can call up the Le Marchands and tell them to mail me that letter, I would appreciate it.
I'll see what I can do, I guess.
Okay. I don't know what year it is in the world right now, so I won't ask you to fax it over. I won't ask you to send a photo and email it over. Just mail it.
I don't know how much it impacts this, but I believe this one was published in about 1943, so the war might impact travel plans.
If you can telegram this letter to me,
The telegrams might be all taken up by soldiers.
if you can walk it over, if you can send, do carrier pigeons exist in 1943? Are they gone?
You don't think the soldiers are using all of the country's supply of carrier pigeons?
All right.
Are you kidding me?
If you can ship it here using a military battleship, I don't
Sure.
think they're needed at all.
I'll do what I can.
Famously, no naval battles in all of World War II. Send it down here. I'd like to give it a read.
No problem.
Okay, lovely. I mean, is there anything else you can tell me to start me off here, or am I just gonna...
We're now in the same point. Should I tag along with you? No, that would be weird. That would bias me. I can't do that. But no, yeah, you've got what I do now.
Okay, let me summarize for everybody playing along at home. You know that 16 years ago, your mother, Carolyn Crail, who is, you said your father was involved in art. Was he an artist?
Yes, like a pretty famous
A
one.
visual
I
artist.
understand.
He painted. Okay, and your mother was also famous. You expected me to know her name. Was she famous only for the murder of her husband?
Yeah, that's as I understand it.
Okay, lovely. So your mother, who contributed nothing to society,
Ouch.
other than giving birth to a foolish child and killing a foolish husband. No, that's too rude. I apologize. I take it back. Your mother, probably a very lovely woman who did amazing things. Carolyn Crail may not have been lovely because she could have killed her husband 16 years ago. She was convicted for killing her husband 16 years ago. However, reiterating how sad this is, your one memory as a 5-year-old is that your mother was always brutally honest and never sugarcoated anything. She sent you a letter that never got to you when she was in the 1 year of prison she served before dying of prison, saying, by the way, I didn't kill my husband, i.e. your father, I'm innocent.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me. All right. Well, I'll get looking. I'll try and go through some records and things like that. I'll find out about the case, and I'll give you a call, and I'll let you know whether your mother did it.
Sounds great. That will be a huge relief. Thank you.
Lovely. Give me a number. I might call you back, just in case, I need any detail whatsoever, because you've given me very little.
I've given you everything I know.
I don't know if that's true. You may be giving me everything you think you know, but I'll ask you a question about, do you remember Uncle Jonathan? And your brain will be like, whoa, my gosh, you're right.
Oh.
I remember Uncle...
I guess that's possible.
Exactly. I'm gonna be uncovering some repressed memories here.
Okay.
Okay, so you just stay on the phone, ready for repressed memories to be uncovered.
Understood.
I'll do an investigation, and we'll meet back here in, I don't know, a day? I'll probably get it done overnight.
Okay, wow.
That's my guarantee. If I don't get it done overnight, you get it free.
Oh, I mean, money's not
Wait, hold on. So you say you inherited money. How much?
enough. Don't worry.
You will not get this for free. You'll get that as my normal rate, which is 10,000 a day.
10,000. Oh, okay. Maybe I should
1,000 a day. I'm the best detective in the world.
guess
That's a pretty reasonable price.
Yeah, okay. You seem pretty confident you can do this in one day. I can handle that.
All right. I'll give you a call in a couple of weeks. That's when it'll be done.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Carla. If you're happy for me to call you Carla.
As
the name that you
absolutely.
gave me, I would assume so.
Yeah, that's how I've grown up.
Oh, and you said you're about to get married.
Yeah.
Who's your fiance?
John Bradbury?
How did you pronounce that?
John?
John. Yeah, John. I got the John part. John was fine. It was Rattery.
Rattery. Yeah.
Like a place where you would keep rats.
I guess so.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to assume that he did it.
What? That's ridiculous.
He was a young boy. How old is he? Is he your age?
He's a little older, but...
Okay. Yeah. 7-year-olds kill people.
He's also Canadian.
All the time.
Well,
there you go.
Spent his entire life here.
All right, John
working the
Rattery.
family ratteries.
Of the Ontario Ratteries. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Bear in mind, I may well come back to you and say your mum did it.
Mhm.
I am in no way...
Yes, I understand that is still a distinct possibility.
I'm going to open this up. I'm going to look for the truth, but in no way am I sitting here like you are with the assumption that your mother is innocent.
Okay.
Okay, right?
I get it.
All good.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have a look around.
Wink, wink.
No, there's no wink, wink. No, you see, I'm an impartial observer of the truth. If there's one thing they know about me, I'm a straight to the point, no frivolity detective who gets right down to it and solves this murder.
That works for me.
Okay, wonderful. I'll see you later.
Great. She gives you a number, she leaves.
All right. Okay. I have to solve a murder that happened 16 years ago, and this person knows nothing about it. I suppose I got to start looking at some records. I want to find out about the case. I want to find out what happened in the original case. Can I look up? I don't know if do I have access to some official records? Do I need to look for newspaper articles?
At this stage, you can just do some quick standard searches to see what happens. And the first thing that shows up, you find some court proceedings.
That's great. That's what I'm looking for. That's where I'd start. I want to at least see, for all I know, she's 5. It was not life in prison. It was like a manslaughter charge or a negligent homicide or something weird like that. I want to find out about this case.
All of them are quite brief in nature. They don't go into excruciating detail, but it does say that Carolyn Crail was found guilty of the murder by poisoning of her husband, Amias Crail.
Okay.
Then they mostly start going into, oh, look at Amias, look at his artwork, look how much it's shot up in value since he died, blah, blah, blah. Beyond that, you find the names of the prosecutor and the defense law firms.
Okay. Let's make a note of these little piggies. Okay. Prosecutor?
Quentin Fogg.
Oh, I love him already. Okay, and the defense attorney?
Montague Depleach.
Oh.
That was of the firm Depleach and Mayhew, but it seems like Depleach was the one who did barristering in the case.
Okay, I can still talk to Mayhew. Okay, well, I can probably find out more about the case from them. So that may well be a good next step to figure stuff out. Mm-hmm. I was also intrigued, though. This is court documentation. This is like the official, here's the ruling, here's the person who did it, here's the person who didn't, right?
Sure, they're not like transcripts or anything.
No, that's fine. Is there, at all, a more sensationalist aspect I could look at? Can I find newspaper articles from the time about the murder? Is there anything I can find out if I'm looking for, gossip magazines and real newspapers and anything that's like reporting on the case? Or is it pretty low key? I mean, obviously not every case is going to make it to the newspaper.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix. This was a big deal. Amias was something of a celebrity, but they're also a fancy enough family that they can shut things down if they want to. So the amount of public speculation that's still around, maybe there was some then, and then the family got a hold of it and sued them to withdraw, things like that.
Sure.
You could very easily believe that happened.
You said he was famous. Outside of his murder, are there articles where I can find out a bit more about Amias Crail going into this?
There doesn't seem to be a huge amount to say about things like, was his upbringing weird or anything like that? You can just mostly see, yep, he was a standard rich boy who grew up to be an artist. Okay. And some of his stuff is very famous. There's a couple of his things in the Tate.
Oh, wonderful. I wonder, again, I don't want to push back. Like, I know that in this one, we're somewhat restricted by the stuff that was in books. So I'm keeping you on your toes as a person running, the crime scene criminal witnesses. Can I talk to any art historians? Do I know any?
Any art historians?
Anyone from the Tate who might tell me more about Amias? I just like coming into discussions with people with a little bit more background knowledge so that when they say, Amias never painted a picture in his life, I could say, haha, no, he did paint a picture.
We could try. This would be completely improvised.
Reward my
Let's find
originality.
Out. All right, you get the number of someone at the Tate.
All right.
Hello, this is Victoria speaking.
Victoria, I have terrible news. Something bad will happen to you very soon.
Excuse me?
Victoria Buckland?
Whoops.
Oh, wait, you didn't work at the Tate. You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got concerned for you. Listen, your name starts with Vict. It's a bad sign on this show.
Understood. As an art aficionado, I am often looking for signs and symbols hidden in things, but the first 4 letters of one's name, that feels a bit...
Okay. All right.
A little bit obvious, wouldn't you say?
Solve your murder next. Victoria, I have a question for you. I'm an investigator. I'm currently doing some investigation.
Okay.
About a murder.
I don't know anything about the murder, and I don't think the Tate would like to be associated with anything like that.
Where were you 16 years ago when this murder was committed?
I don't know what you're talking about, but at school.
Yeah, all right, a likely story. This little piggy went to school. I have a question for you. I'm looking into the murder of Amias Crail. Happened 16 years ago.
Oh, was he murdered?
Oh, yeah, fun fact. Amias Crail was murdered.
Oh.
Maybe by his wife, maybe not. I'm going to find out.
You're right. I'm aware that we have a piece or two of his here. I didn't know that. I've never looked into his history.
I mean, that doesn't sound promising for me because I was calling up specifically so I could look into his history a little bit. What do you know about Amias Crail other than the fact that you own some of his art?
From what I understand, he was passionate and volatile, but... and that would often come out in his work. It's been considered divisive, but it's extraordinary. It truly is.
You call him passionate and volatile in his private life, or just in what he expresses in his art?
I don't know anything about his private life, I'm afraid. Okay. That is the way that his work has been described.
Interesting. And divisive. Some people like it, some people don't.
Well, yes, he doesn't like to emphasize the pretty. He likes distortions. It's quite beautiful. Like, if you see, he may absolutely draw a classic vase of fruit. Vase of fruit?
Yeah, no, it's a vase of fruit. Yeah, you put your fruit in a vase.
On
I always
a table?
Do. Yeah.
The table...
bowl of flowers, vase of fruit.
...will not be flat. It will have to be a crooked table. Things like that. He will always try to find just subtle things that make people a little curious. He might paint an absolutely beautiful person, but he is not painting them for their beauty. He is painting them for something else.
Okay, he likes to find the ugliness.
Exactly.
I like that. Successful as an artist? Like monetarily, or was he a bit of a starving artist in his time?
Oh,
I know he
not
was,
to my understanding.
Rather, I know he was independently wealthy. You said he was, you, not someone. Someone said he was born into wealth. Was his painting successful commercially during his life?
He was a famous artist while he was alive.
Okay. Appreciated in his time, all right.
A rare affirmative.
Did he ever paint his wife, Carolyn? Did he have a particular muse that he would paint a lot?
Oh, I believe that he did paint people. I don't recall ever seeing a painting of his wife, but he certainly did get inspiration from people a lot. Not exclusively.
Was there anybody consistent? Now, for people at home, what I'm trying to get at here is, like, classic story, right? Painter, wife, young girl muse that he paints constantly. She's the model and the wife gets jealous and does poison him, or something along those lines. So I figured that's maybe a nice thing to jump into here. Did he have, like, a muse, someone he painted a lot?
Nothing consistent to my knowledge. Every piece tended to be quite different from the last. I think I recall hearing that his last unfinished work was a young woman, though.
Ooh, interesting.
That's never been publicly available, so I can't say for sure.
This last work, this unfinished, it's also not around.
To my understanding.
Interesting. All right, thank you so much. I'll be calling you over and over again this entire investigation, I'm sure.
Understood, I suppose.
What was your full name, Victoria?
Apple.
Apple. Interesting. Okay, well then you'll be fine.
Oh.
Apples can't get murdered. You'll be all right.
Fantastic.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just thought it was relevant to get a little bit of like,
Could
if
be.
I can poke around at who the people are in this situation while I have one or two of them, it might give me some important context.
Makes sense.
But I suppose contextless, I'm going to talk to the prosecutor first. I think knowing why she was prosecuted is better than knowing how she was defended.
Okay.
Does Quentin Fogg still exist?
He certainly does. He's a bit of an older man, but you can track down Quentin Fogg KC.
KC? King's Counsel. Oh, because it's 2025. He's the
Yeah.
King's Counsel now. For people who are unaware, in Commonwealth countries, instead of being like a state prosecutor or rather like a what
Is this in all Commonwealth countries?
I think we have them.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, cool.
I think if you are prosecuting on behalf of the state, so it's like the state versus,
never
or
looked
like
into it.
Australia versus.
I know
You
some
are-
lawyers. I don't know any barristers.
I thought we also had this. Maybe it is just British. I thought we had as well.
Cool.
That they were Queens. They were QC for a while, and now they're KC because
Quite a while.
Quite a while. They're the Queen's Counsel.
70
Now they're the
years.
King's Counsel. Council?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, KC. All right.
You find his offices. You make an appointment. He manages to squeeze you in as long as you keep it brief.
Quentin, my name is Bill.
Well, you already know mine, it seems.
Yes. I've looked you up. I
Yes.
hate to bother you. You're obviously a busy man.
Quite.
And I hate to cast any aspersions or anything on previous work. I'm just on behalf of a family member. I'm looking into an old case that you worked on 16 years ago to the day.
Certainly.
Probably not to the day.
I'll do what I can to remember. I have quite a memory for my cases.
I mean, ideally, I hope you would have some notes that you could drag up for me. But hey, if your memory is wonderful, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Famously, human memory is full of detail and never forgets anything.
Mine doesn't.
Okay, good. What do you know about the case of the People versus Carolyn Crail?
Carolyn Crail.
Carolyn Crail killed her husband, Amias.
Oh,
the
yes,
artist.
I do. I recall that very well.
You were the prosecutor on the case.
It was almost unsportsmanlike.
Really? Slam dunk case?
Without question, it was a thrashing beyond all thrashings.
Okay. I don't like the extent to which you're referring to criminal justice as like a game that you play with the defense. That's
Oh.
kind of unnerving me a little bit, but that's fine. Let's continue on.
I would never have considered it as such. This wasn't a personal victory in any way. Some of us felt very peculiar after it. It was not how it would typically go. But
Interesting.
Carolyn herself was a appalling witness. She contradicted herself at every step. The only thing I can say for her is that the poorness of her own testimony may have caused the jury to pity her, hence the merciful sentence she received.
Not getting hanged, getting life in prison instead.
Precisely.
Oh, mercy. That's I don't know, man. All right, sure. So what was the crux of the case? She was specifically accused of poisoning. Or
Yes.
convicted, not even accused. Convicted of poisoning her husband. What was the evidence that was there? Why was she the suspect? Why was it brought up?
Oh, my. You will understand exactly what I mean by unsportsmanlike when you hear this.
Go for it. Again, I don't like the whole unsportsmanlike bit.
Amias Crail was an artist.
I know this already. I talked to someone at the Tate. Thank you very much.
He had affairs. Many affairs.
Oh, romantic affairs.
Absolutely.
Ooh, okay.
But because he was a famous artist, it was all part of his artist's temperament. Naturally, you could assume this made him and Carolyn quite a turbulent couple.
Well, fair enough.
However, while they fought, both of them giving as good as they got, his affairs tended to end quickly. Until this last one.
This was it perhaps the girl he was painting at the time?
Exactly.
Oh, baby, that's research.
A
What was her name?
society girl. Her name... Hold on, this one. Sorry, I have her written as Piggy in my notes, so I'll need to...
You have her written as Piggy?
No. Let's actually take a look. He goes through... He's got an immaculate filing cabinet. He goes way into the back of it to find something.
P for Piggy?
Yes. Yeah. Elsa Greer was her name. Who knows if it still is? She was young.
Elsa Greer. All right, lovely.
Society girl. Amias was painting her. But this time it went as far as him wanting a divorce from his wife.
Whoa. Okay.
Now, as for the evidence, 2 witnesses overheard Carolyn saying that if he divorced her, she'd kill him.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. 2 witnesses. Do you have the names of those witnesses?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. If you'd like to go for a bit more of a flow, I can let you get into a state, but I might just keep taking notes as we go. I don't want to forget these things.
We'll get there.
Okay, so you will. Okay, you just continue on. That's all right. I'll leave a space to get their names for later.
Carolyn Crail also had access to conine, a variety of hemlock.
Okay, interesting.
An empty bottle of it was found in her bedroom drawer, and she admitted to police that she had taken it.
Now, when you say she had taken it, she had stolen the bottle or
Correct.
she drunk the hemlock?
She had stolen it. Only her fingerprints were on this bottle. On the day of the murder, Carolyn brought Amias a beer while he was painting, poured it for him, watched him drink it, and then, within hours, he was dead.
I'm assuming you should have other witnesses testify that this happened.
Absolutely.
People just saw it in a public context.
Which part?
The giving of the beer.
Yes.
Okay.
But not only that, she admits to that.
Oh, she also... Okay.
Her story is that he must have committed suicide.
Okay.
His fingerprints were on the beer bottle, only his fingerprints, but they were at an impossible angle. They were forged fingerprints. Not only that, the hemlock was not in the bottle. It was in his glass, which Carolyn handled.
Interesting.
You can see why the evidence was incredibly squarely against her, and why her only defense of, "It wasn't me, he did it himself," did not hold up.
The Shaggy defense.
I don't know what that means.
Strain 26, you didn't listen to Shaggy? It would have happened another, 10 years before that case.
What?
When did it
Goodness
come
gracious.
out? Not 10 years, maybe 8 or 9 years?
No, God, I'm just
Was it
forgetting how years work.
2001?
Dear God, it's a long time ago.
And this was 16 years
Yeah,
back,
that's
so that's
2009.
2010
That's
is
upsetting.
2009.
Ouch.
Far out.
Yeah.
But 2009, Shaggy was in the public consciousness.
Not mine.
Not my consciousness. No, I don't listen to things like that. I just make big speeches. They call me Mr. Bombastic. Sorry.
Beyond that, most of my memories relate to the case itself and how people behaved in court, rather than
Yes, interesting.
actual
Okay.
evidence.
So you had this evidence and you put up Carolyn on the stand. She agreed all of this was true, that she'd taken the hemlock, that she had given him a beer, but she said, don't worry about that, he probably just killed himself.
That is essentially where it ended up, yes.
Wow, that's a bad defense.
It was not good.
Yeah, okay, well, she probably did it, but what else do you remember from the court
I
case?
certainly
Anything?
agree. She was guilty as hell.
Sure, lovely. And you said there were other witnesses, other things happened during this court case that were interesting to you more than the evidence? What happened during the court case?
Nothing happened during the court case. It's more just noticing how the other witnesses behaved and what people thought of them.
Interesting.
I have some impressions.
Give me some witnesses, give me some impressions.
Well, the greatest influence on it was Elsa Greer.
She was a witness.
Of course she was. She was there.
Interesting. I was about to ask you if Amias was there, but he's dead. Elsa Greer was a witness. I mean, presumably she claimed that he was leaving his wife for her?
Yes, most certainly. She had no scruples about telling people that she was going to take Amias away from his family.
Weird, gross, don't like her, but sure.
Oh, most certainly. She was, I suppose, admirably honest, but wholly unlikable to everyone. Judge and jury hated her. Perhaps that also played to the sympathy for Carolyn. She was pretty, of course, in a very modern sort of way, but without a doubt, classic picture of a homewrecker.
Okay. Don't like her.
No.
Here's my current theory. Be quiet. Close your eyes. Just so you're out of the scene.
Oh.
Okay. Here's my crazy theory. She said, hey, famous painter, paint me. He went, all right, I'll paint you. And she went, I'm young and pretty. This would be great. And then he painted her, and the painting was just like, I've made you hideous. And she went, how dare you? And she poisoned him and killed him. That's my current theory of the case. She didn't like being painted to look so ugly. That's it. That's where I'm at right now. That's my guess. I would be emailing in that guess right now, and I'll be on my own wall of detectives. So Elsa Greer, she obviously supplied a lot of this. Did she claim that she was there when Amias died?
Not when he died.
But at least when the poison was administered. Was she giving evidence about like beer bottle handing and things like that?
Certainly, she was one of the key
Okay.
witnesses to that.
Okay.
Not the only one, but she corroborated what others said. To my understanding, this took place while Amias was painting her. So she was currently posing.
Okay. Lovely. Beer happened while painting / posing. Okay, that's very good to know. God, that must be tough. To walk in where your husband has said, like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving you for my artist, for my model, and then to be giving him things and serving him while he's painting that person in your house?
Oh, yes. Again, she was sentenced to not be hanged due to extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
People found this quite extenuating.
And in this justice system that we live in, we love to hang. Okay.
It's my bread and butter.
I don't like you, Mr. Fogg. Okay, so that was one of the witnesses. Who else? You said there were other noteworthy witnesses and how people reacted?
Oh, there was a small group of people there. None of them had as much of an impact on the case. I would suspect that the defense counsel probably has a more thorough record.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can talk to Pleach, unless he's dead. Then I'll have to talk to Mayhew. Now, did all this happen just at their home?
At their estate, yes.
Okay, lovely.
Alderbury House.
Alderbury House. So you don't know how many people were there at the time? What my small, let's say maybe 5 people?
It wasn't a large group that came in for that. If you discount servants, and we always do, then yes.
It's a murder mystery.
2 to 3 family, 2 to 3 friends.
Okay, all right. And you don't have a list of the names. I'll probably get that from Montague de Pleach.
I would suggest that, based on our current working relationship here, that information should remain with me. I already said too much by giving you Elsa Greer's name.
Come on, say too much.
No.
Say too much.
You have exhausted the mind of Quentin Fogg.
All right. Well, I'll leave you in Quentin Fogg, which I'm assuming happens between any social engagement.
I just read now that I should have said that Quentin Fogg was a junior prosecutor for the case at the time. He's not so junior anymore.
No, well, it's been a hard 16 years. All right, Quentin. Well, it's good to know. Look, I might come back to you with more questions. I'm known to retrace my steps when I realise I forgot to ask you something important. But let me ask you one last important thing. In your heart of hearts, do you think she did it?
He leans down on his desk, looks you right in the eye.
Sorry, he leans down on his desk?
Yeah, with his arms.
Wait, is he standing?
No, he was sitting. He leans forward, like
okay,
really
thank
far
you. Forward
forward.
is better than down. Go on.
Well, forward and down. Look, let me demonstrate.
Okay, that's forward and down, yeah.
Thank you. Looks you right in the eye. He doesn't know
How short am I?
He doesn't know how to blink
He has to lean
anymore.
down to his desk to look me in the eye? Look, I know I'm the little guy, but Bill, the detective, is 7'2". I'm
So
sure we
he's had a
established
lot
this
of
somewhere in
practice
fiction.
ducking down.
Okay, yep.
Looks you right in the eye, not blinking, and just says, "Guilty as hell."
All right, guilty as hell.
100%.
100% guilty. All right, I'll call her daughter. I'll let her know. She seems pretty guilty. All right, it was good. Thank you for talking to me, Quentin. I suppose I have another lawyer to talk to. Do I want to do that now in episode 1? I don't think I do. I think I'm taking a second to digest. Are you ready for this? We now have some actual case information. And again, I can see why this person went to prison for murder. She had I'm assuming, Quentin, did you get like an autopsy cause of death? Was the cause of death specifically found to be hemlock poisoning?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Bye. There was a man poisoned by hemlock, a woman who's admitted, oh yeah, that's my hemlock. Oh yeah, I did bring him a drink right before he died of hemlock poisoning. Oh, that was the drink that had the poison in it and killed him. But I didn't do it. It was probably a suicide. One thing I want to take note of. He had fingerprints on the beer bottle that seemed impossible, like someone had just like pressed his fingers to the beer bottle at an angle that didn't make sense. And those were the only prints. Here's something I've noticed. There was no poison in the beer bottle, right?
Correct.
According to Quentin, the poison was in the glass, not the bottle. Which to me, I've already found my first interesting inconsistency in this case. Here's the roast beef of this case so far. If you had poisoned him, you would not then put his fingerprints on the bottle in a weird way to try and incriminate him, because you know that bottle didn't have the poison in it. I, in my head now, have a picture where someone poisoned him, someone else saw him poisoned and tried to frame him as a suicide by making him touch the bottle, but didn't know where the poison had actually come from, because it's weird. That's a weird thing to do, and it makes it feel like whoever put his fingers on the bottle wasn't actually the person who gave him the poison, because they didn't know where it had come from. That's my thought. I find that interesting. I'm noting it down in my brain bank. And next episode, I'm going to see if Montague de Pleach agrees with me. Thank you for listening to Solve This Murder. To submit your own guesses for whodunit, send an email to solvethismurderpod@gmail.com. We read every theory we're sent and award the greatest sleuth with a place on our wall of detectives. To support the show, you can sign up for our Patreon and receive weekly bonus episodes, monthly videos, and full access to all parts of new Solve This Murder mysteries on day one. Thanks to all our patrons for supporting us. Thanks to Advanced Sagebrush and Shootouts for our theme music. And thanks again to all of you for listening.